Blizzcon is here, and with it come the finals of 4 different Blizzard titles esports circuits. StarCraft 2, Hearthstone, World of Warcraft, and Heroes of the Storm will crown world champions in each of their respective games this weekend.
That's right, Kevin, but the thing that people are most excited about is the Hearthstone World Championship, because who doesn't love a little RNG in their life? Now, in this week's group matches leading up to the event, Tice from Europe has the strongest record. He's looking fantastic going into playoffs. But here's the thing, all but one of the players from the Americas, they got nixed. That's it, they're out of the tournament. But of course, this tournament will feature a $100,000 prize pool and, in my personal opinion, what's more important, the coveted Hearthstone World Championship prize.
Now, the players actually already know each other's decks. They weren't allowed to switch between the group stages and the playoff stages that are happening this weekend, so they've already been able to craft a little bit of strategies, and we can even make some predictions. And Tice, with his control decks, and especially his Freeze Mage, look really strong right now against the aggressive decks that the Asia-Pacific region has been bringing out. Of course, those players still, though, could, just get the right combination of plays, that right draw, and still get a win, though.
True, but all 3 players in the Asia-Pacific regions are actually capable of being able to pull off those miracle aggro deck games. And, we'll see if that's going to be the case. They may be able to get the perfect draw. Who knows? But, of course, it's going to be very, very difficult to stop them. That's another thing to keep in mind. Now, there was some controversy, though, in the StarCraft 2 scene, of all things, as the only non-Korean player in the competition, Lil Bo, actually made it to the round of 16, but then admitted that he actually didn't practice Heart of the Swarm leading into the Blizzcon finals. Instead, he's been practicing Legacy of the Void, which is a new expansion that's going to be coming out for StarCraft 2. And honestly, just to be candid for a moment, I feel like that is just, it's BlizzCon, man. Like, you have to prepare for BlizzCon, right?
Oh yeah, and a lot of people in the community certainly made it known that they weren't very pleased with the performance that he gave. But he did defend his actions on Facebook, saying that, quote, "I am practicing to be the best, as I said, but I don't want to be the best of a game that nobody is playing anymore. It doesn't make any sense to me." And he went on to add that he has been training diligently for Legacy of the Void. It's just that he didn't play Heart of the Swarm coming into this event. Now, the other results of the tournament have been pretty unsurprising. A lot of 3-0s, and Kespa players are doing pretty well for themselves. Most people expect that SK Telecom's T1 Innovation is going to take the event.
Yeah, and it's a very real possibility there, of course. He's looking absolutely fantastic, just based on the matches that I've seen so far. But here's the thing. Blizzard, and this is actually pretty awesome, has been making a big push to reinvigorate World of Warcraft PvP esports, Kevin. It's awesome. I remember back in the MLG days when I used to watch the World of Warcraft tournaments right next to the Halo tournaments. It's awesome, and I'm really happy to see that being the case now. And here's the thing, right? Europe has been dominating the road to BlizzCon, man. They look fantastic. And in fact, the guild Solari Gaming actually has 3 of the top teams.
That's crazy.
I think they're all, I think it's just absurd, right? But it's awesome to say the least, because that obviously Solari Gaming believes in those players. They believe in those teams. And speaking of which, their squad competing as SK Gaming at the EU finals, well, they're looking pretty good to win BlizzCon altogether.
Yeah, certainly. A lot of people think that's going to be the case. Congratulations to Solari for fielding just such strong teams across the board.
Right.
But we also have Heroes of the Storm to talk about as well. Navi and Cloud9 have already secured themselves automatic places in the seeds in the playoff stage for this weekend from the groups. Now, Navi advanced past Team DK from Korea, who was widely considered by a lot of people to just be on a different level than anyone else coming into this event. That really was not the case. Navi took them out, and they're looking really strong. Cloud9 as well, they're looking really good. They took out Team Dignitas en route to their guaranteed spot in the seeding stage of the playoffs.
Navi's looking fantastic, honestly, and I think that they have a great chance of even being a lock for the finals at this point, and a lot of people feel the same way. But the question is really about whether or not Cloud9 can defeat Team DK on the other side of the bracket. As a matter of fact, caster Jay Skillywee Gluck has high hopes for Tempo Storm, as she said that, "I'm hoping taking a game off of DK has lit a fire in them to keep up that resurgence despite the issues that have come to light in the past month."
Yeah, as we reported last week on the show, Tempo Storm's Heroes of the Storm team has actually had a lot of personality conflicts on it. They've even publicly said that they would have made roster changes months ago had BlizzCon rules actually not allowed them to do that.